That's downtown Kansas City.
Hey, look at that mugging over there.
Where's the arch?
You would expect that from Al in New York.
Oh, the Arch is in St. Louis.
Oh,
All right.
Okay.
It's looking like we're live on the air.
Smaller arch in Kansas City.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's the two arches?
That's right, the golden.
They have the golden arches.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Welcome back for another special edition of CoCoTALK After Dark. We're going to call this one RetroTALK After Dark because we're going to talk about anything that we want to talk about, not just the Coco. But before we start the show, how about a little theme music, huh?
Let's do it.
All right, let's try that again. But before we start the show, how about a little theme music, huh?
Yeah, Stevie.
CoCoTALK After Dark. CoCoTALK After Dark.
That's right, boys and girls. It's not just CoCoTALK, it's RetroTALK. All retro, all the time. We're vintage, we're old, we're geeky, and the ladies love us. So let's brag about it, shall we? All right, here we are. Welcome to another episode of RetroTALK After Dark, if
Who's the
you
youngest
will.
one here today?
Who's the youngest one here? That would have to be Al Hartman.
I'm 56. So
Okay.
64.
All right. Going once, going twice. Do I hear 70?
43.
Grand is 43. Jason, you must be the baby. How old are you, Jason?
Are we doing for oldest?
Youngest.
What, Jason? Where the hell are you?
I'm. Whoa, what's going on here? I would be the youngest at 41, I think.
40. Wow, you are a baby.
Yep.
Well, now, what are we looking at right now? Is this live footage of your anal probe? I can't quite tell. It's kind of dark in there. Oh, there. Oh, he's in a car. Okay.
Hey, that was me earlier.
I had to turn on the studio lighting. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. I think you can get a ticket for doing that, driving with that light on too long, right?
Probably.
All right. Well, you're dedicated. You're live from the automobile. Wouldn't be a show without Jason the Coco Man on the road somewhere. On the road again. All right. Well, we've got an international cast. This was Diego's idea from South America. Diego's like, hey, man, you going to have an After Dark tonight? How are you, Diego?
Yeah, I'm doing good. It's just that the regular time, it's not that good for me. So I don't want to miss you guys.
What time is it in South America right now?
It's 1 hour ahead of you, probably. So it's 10:15.
Oh, really? So we're behind you.
Uh-huh.
Wow, so you're in the future.
I am.
You're an hour into the future. Can you tell me what the winning lottery number is going to be before I buy my ticket?
Well, you know what you got to do. You got to call me 30 minutes before the drawing, and I can tell you.
And we also have back with us from sunny Arizona, the Timberman himself, Ron Delvaux.
Hello. How you doing, everybody?
We're doing good. We have best known as the brother of Jason Reichard. I don't know if that's what he's best known for, but star of YouTube channel Can Make It. The guy who makes things, including commercials for the Switcheroo and all kinds of other bumpers for our show. Ken Reichard is with us. Hello, Ken.
Hey, greetings and salutations.
And you're in Ohio, Ken? Where the heck are you?
I'm up in the Toledo area.
Okay.
Mud Hens land.
Yeah.
Welcome to the program. Glad to have you.
Holy Toledo, Batman.
We also have back with us twice in one day, legend in his own mind, Rick Adams is with us. Hello, Rick.
Hello.
All right. Thank you for joining us again, twice in one day.
Oh, amazing, amazing.
Jason the Coco Man.
You're too kind.
You're too kind. Thank you. You're too kind. Jason the Coco Man Reichard, maker of the Switcheroo. As seen at PenFest 99 in 2000, as seen at CorgsCon, as seen at Hamvention, seen at CocoFest 2018, as seen online at the DMV. It is Jason the Coco Man Reichard is with us.
The Switcheroo is a registered trademark, patent pending.
Hey, Jason, are you going to Radio Shack to get more parts?
All I gotta do is go back to 1980 something, and I can get everything I need.
If you could only go back in time, yes. We have the host with the most, Grant Leighty, is with us.
Hello, everybody.
Welcome, Grant. From New York, Al Hartman's with us. Hello, Al.
I'm actually from New Jersey now.
New Jersey, what exit?
114.
Last but certainly not least, we have royalty with us, Sir David Ladd, Lord of the Floppy. How are you, David?
I'm fine, Stevie, and how are you? Good
I'm doing
evening,
wonderful.
everyone.
God, he's really happy.
Yes, and maybe David will get to speak tonight since he wasn't able to speak today. Oh, shit. Here goes the neighborhood. We just got joined by the angry Muppet himself, Richard Lorbieski. Hello, Richard.
What?
He hasn't figured out that mute button yet.
Richard! Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, okay.
Oh,
I guess.
Well, at least now that Richard's here, we've got a full Hollywood Squares lineup right now. So
That's right.
for me right now, Ken Reichert's the center square. So, and I'd like to take Ron DeVoe to block. So,
I disagree.
Richard, you have the Seaboard. You're very notable.
the Coco Seaboard. And Richard, some of your fans are here.
Oh, cool.
Both of them.
I don't have. I have 2 seaboards, by the way.
Ooh.
And Richard made sure that I knew that. He goes, and I have 2 of them, and you don't.
That's right.
Wow.
Not in your
wow.
garage.
Nope.
That's awesome.
I have space for 2.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's Retro Talk night. We can talk about anything you guys want to talk about, so I don't know what y'all want to talk about, but how about we hear from some people we didn't get to hear from too much today. David Ladd.
sir.
Would you like to tell us what's been going on with you? Have you done anything retro recently? I know you got a lot going on in your personal life, but...
Yeah, you got the LEDs.
Yeah, Richard gave me some information about his DAT board, and I managed to quickly assemble a basic program that will enable or disable the turbo LED part of the function of the DAT board, so that way you can tell when it's in high speed or low speed. And then I also tinkered with how to enable and disable the 512K limiter via software.
Ooh.
Yeah, a lot of nifty features on that thing.
So you have the full Boomerang E2 setup with the 2 meg board and the memory switcher doohickey?
Yes, I do.
It's got, what's it called, the Trojan or the Guardian? So,
Then you have your keyboard thing on it too, David?
What keyboard thing?
Didn't
You
you
mean
have,
mouse thing?
Yeah, mouse. That's it.
oh, your PS2 mouse adapter?
Yeah.
I did, but it's not hooked up right now because I don't really have any need for a mouse or joystick at the current time. But yeah, it's I enjoy having 2 meg of RAM in Nitrous 9.
Nice.
I always wanted the Disto 2 meg back in the day. Could never afford it.
But
And
it's
thank-
affordable for everybody now.
That's right.
Indeed.
Richard Lorbieski is like the Oprah Winfrey of RAM. You get an upgrade, and you get an upgrade. Memory
it's the
for
perfect
everyone.
Accessory. The perfect accessory to go along with your switcheroo.
There you go.
Exactly. Between the SCART adapter from Richard and the testing that it took to find the correct resistors and the capacitors that had to be used, it's nice to be able to see RGB on a TV of today.
Yes, it is.
Glad mod.
Are we going to need the gaming power supply now for our
500 gigawatt power supply, liquid cooled.
Well, if you had the old Disto boards, you did, but not these.
These
No.
modern technologies are very energy efficient, right?
Yeah, SRAM's very efficient.
I see red lights in Jason's rearview mirror, and hopefully that's somebody going the opposite direction, right?
That is there's a one spot on the road where it's only one lane. They have a temporary traffic light there, so that's what that was.
All right. Curtis Boyle's with us in live chat. Since he's not here, we can talk shit about him, so feel free. Hey, Curtis, how's it going,
But there's one thing is that even when he is here, you can talk crap about him.
So true,
Say
so true.
it out loud.
It's nice to have David with us, fully with us, not just a face.
No, it's
You're so much more than a pretty face, David. And Ken Reichard, what have you been up to? Besides being Jason's brother.
Well, yeah, I've been that for a long time.
All my life.
And under protest.
We don't like to talk about that, but what I've been working on, or at least trying to work on, is taking one of the adventure games I wrote as a kid and actually expanding it and rewriting it, because I think it's good, but I can make it better. But I'm going to write it using CMOC, because why not?
Excellent.
And it's not my failed entry to the 4th Rainbow Adventure Contest that we were talking about on the previous show. That I don't think is ever going to see the light of day, because looking back at it now, I think, boy, it was really stupid. It was like everything that a 15, 16-year-old kid would think was clever. So, and the other retro thing I'm doing is really, really thinking about getting the NES Mini, and not pulling the trigger yet, because the 3-inch controller cord keeps putting me off.
Yeah. Well, they do make ones with longer cords, and I think you can get wireless controllers for those, which everybody says is a must-have for that unit. And I'm not sure if they're Bluetooth or not, but if it is, you might be able to use a generic Bluetooth gamepad.
I think I can. The other thing I might just go full RetroPie if I can get it done before all the ROM sites are shut down.
Oh, yes.
Better hurry.
He's going full retro. Hey, Paul Fiscarelli has joined us.
I know somebody that can supply you with some ROMs.
He's got a friend. I know a guy.
Guy.
We're gonna have to meet somewhere in a dark alley and open up the back of our trunks and.
No problem. You can meet in the parking lot of the old Kmart.
Yeah, we'll pull out a suitcase full of ROMs and.
They got your ROMs right here.
Right. What do you need? You need Nintendo ROMs? What you got? Atari 8-bit ROMs? What you got? I got you.
I even got straw.
I got a Ziploc bag full of ROMs for you right here.
I got it in my Capicola right here.
That is a slippery slope there, the whole ROM distribution thing.
Don't you mean an anti-static bag full of ROMs?
Yes, exactly. With a zipper pouch sealing in the freshness.
Stevie, I don't need to know about your zipper.
Okay.
No.
All right.
Definitely an After Dark show.
Oh, we have OmniStar, and Rick Adams has almost taken down the system.
Yeah, but I'm stuck.
That looks like Canis Major.
I was going to say, it looks like a constellation right now, too, yeah.
Yeah, so I have it down to 35%. And if I hadn't have made one wrong move, I think I could have taken it down completely. So I'm encouraged. So within a day or two, it will be beat for the first time.
Nice keyboard.
Excellent. And Diego.
Hey.
We haven't heard from you in a while, and I know you were working on your Furious Felines 2. What other projects you got going on? Anything else you want to share with us?
A lot. Yeah, actually, let me show you something. Just a sec. I got my first in my life Atari 2600.
Ooh, nice. Wow. That's the junior one? The junior model?
Nah, it's just a clone thingy.
Okay.
But it has some of the games in ROM. Actually, kind of the original one, so you just switch here.
Okay.
I had some friends over last week, and we ended up playing more bowling in that Atari than playing anything in our PCs.
Oh, wow. That's neat.
We had a lot of fun. It's the first time that I can get one of these. consoles and everything like that have always been very expensive down here.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had my Coco, and that was it for a long time. And well, now I'm playing some very old games here.
Excellent.
Then the Furious Felines is ready. I even made a little manual
Oh wow, that's nice.
that you can print and everything.
Wow, look at that. Screenshots, full color.
That's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, tried even to make it look just like the original ones with the same kind of text and everything.
Okay.
The screenshots look very cool.
Yeah, it's kind of like a comic book, more like a little cartoon story with made out of screenshots. So, well, you can.
Hey, Arena Foot is here, and Arena Foot says, "Of course, I love Atari 2600." Yes, very cool. The Atari 2600. If you were a video game fan in the late 70s and early 80s, that was the system to have. There were a few before it. There was the Magnavox Odyssey and Odyssey 2. There was there were some Pong machines, some single purpose things. So they weren't the first consumer video game system, but they were definitely probably the most successful in history, that Atari system. I wanted one, but one of my motivations for getting the color computer was saying, piggybacking on our discussion about the ROM sites, is, I knew that a friend could give me a copy of a game for a computer. It was easy to copy things on discs. It was easy to copy things on tape. It's nearly impossible for a civilian to copy a ROM cartridge, right? So one of my motivating factors to get a home computer was that I could get a software library that I otherwise would not have been able to afford as a young lad. So
that's something else from Uruguay when everything was very expensive. This is my library. I mean, I had to get in one tape. You will use both sides to save as many games as you could.
Yeah,
I have 15 games here.
And
Because even if you will go to the local Radio Shack, they will just give you a TDK tape that they recorded out of pirate copies.
Huh. From Radio
That was
Shack?
there wasn't really a Radio Shack here. It was a company that they were just licensing and importing Radio Shack computers.
Mm-hmm.
And they will actually get pirate copies of games from Brazil and give you a copy there. You just go there, buy one, and they'll give it to you.
Like real early in the morning?
Yeah, it was like the ROM deal that we were talking about.
Yeah.
There's a secret knock on the back door.
Right.
Yep. When I first got my Coco, I had gotten a cassette copy of Tom Mix Software's Caterpillar Attack. That was the first game I got with my Coco because somebody copied a tape with me, and I was happy. I loved it, And the cassette games were a little bit cheaper than disc games, and a disc drive was very expensive. A disc drive was the cost of a Coco to add a single disc drive. So I ran on cassette for probably at least a year. So I had some of the text adventure games on cassette. Those were cheaper. Those were like in the $29 price range or less. So they were somewhat affordable. Fond memories. And I remember getting my first disk drive. It was almost like high-speed mass storage, because it seemed like it took forever for tapes to load. And you fire up a disk, and in a couple of seconds, your game is loaded versus minutes of screechy noise, right? So,
and if you had a Commodore 64, it was still minutes.
Oh, wow.
It was even worse. Yeah.
Yeah. So I wanted an Atari, but I didn't get that. I don't remember when the ColecoVision came out. Was ColecoVision 1981 or was it 83 or 84? I don't know when ColecoVision came out.
82, wasn't it?
Okay, could have been. But so we missed as a family. We missed out on the Atari, but we ended up getting the ColecoVision, and it had the module, the expansion module that would play 2,600 games. And so I think this was right around the time of the crash or just before the crash when everything was on clearance. we ended up getting that expansion module, and then we got in a couple of games at Sears, a couple of Atari games and stuff. So I never owned an Atari back in the days of Atari, but at least we had Atari games. All my friends had them, and I played them. I think everybody loved that 2600 system when it came out, you know.
Basically, that Coleco adapter was just a Atari 2600 clone that outputted through the ColecoVision.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because at that point you could build an Atari 2600 out of discrete component, and Coleco actually also built a standalone Atari 2600 clone, the Gemini.
The Gemini, yeah, because I think after they won a lawsuit, because Atari tried to sue them, saying, hey, you've cloned our machine, and they were able to demonstrate that theirs was significantly different enough. And once they won that lawsuit on the expansion module, like, well, screw it, we'll make a full system, the Gemini.
Yeah, but from what I understand, there were no custom chips. It was all off-the-shelf components, so that made it easy.
Yeah. And even Atari changed the model over the years, the cost reduction model. So there was the original heavy sixer, then the light sixer, then there was the 4-switcher. Then they got down to 2 switches, I think, and then they got to the 2600 Junior, which was really, looked like the 7800, with the black sloped wedge with the little aluminum stripe across the top. So and Atari themselves redesigned that dozens of times in the years.
Yeah, the Junior was actually significantly smaller than the 7800.
I just recently got. A couple months ago, I got the light sixer, but it's the Sears Telegames model. So it's the Sears generic Atari 2600, but it is the 6-switch model with the wood grain finish, and it works.
Yeah, I think I have a couple of those. I have like just a bin that I have to go through. I think some of them need repairs and whatnot, but I have a couple of those.
Yeah, it's neat though, and it came with a bunch of games in the box and stuff like that. So I was happy to get it.
The best times are when you can go to a garage sale or you go to Goodwill or something and pick up something, bring it home, plug it in, and it works.
Yeah. Yeah, and it did. Tom C says, real simulated wood grain. Exactly. 100% organic.
Genuine imitation. Yeah, genuine imitation.
Corinthian leather.
It reminds me of that, remember the game Leisure Suit Larry? And he was they were talking about something. We're like, yeah, the couch is made out of naga hide, and I wonder how many nagas they had to skin to make that couch. Oh, Curtis Boyle's wanting to know, Jason, if you ever just stay home. Are you constantly either in the car or on a bike?
I have been known to stay home, but it does happen. I've actually been on the road most of the day today. Today's been a very busy day.
Good for you. So what else do we want to talk about tonight, gentlemen? Bruce Moore, what's going on with you?
I'm actually typing some code out of a Rainbow magazine into Basic 09.
Ooh.
Pretty crazy.
That's retro.
Very retro. I've done this in a long time. There's Basic 09 it doesn't have anything for sound options, really, except basically a system call there's a bell. You can ring a little tone, and there's a system call. And I just happened to find in the July 89 issue of Rainbow, someone wrote a little piece of code which wraps up the system call into a sound command, similar to the sound command in Color Basic.
Yeah.
It's and you just send in the the frequency, duration, and amplitude, and it's got a wider range in Color Basic. Like it's got, instead of 256 tones, I think it's got like 4,000 tones.
Okay, because it's based on a frequency now, so this is like in hertz or something, right?
Yeah, that's right. And let's see here, the amplitude goes from 0 to 63 instead of, I'm not sure what it was.
Is that the volume then, amplitude?
Yeah, amplitude's volume. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it says like, and it's only a few lines of code. I thought, well, you know what? I'm experimenting with this game idea, and I've actually got to the point where the game mechanics seem to be working the way I expect them to. And then it's like, what do I do for sound? There's nothing for sound here. So I'm waiting on Curtis. You can hear me there, Curtis. when he's not so busy to
Mhm.
refactor his play command so I can actually play 8-bit digital stuff.
Yeah, he's saying please, because says can't wait until Bruce gets into level 2 and can start using stuff like the play command from Basic 09.
Well, but this thing I'm doing is going to be a level 1, so
So level 1 means it runs on a Coco 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah,
VDG based.
Exactly. I want something that's going to actually run on a Coco 2.
Okay.
I'm not ready to jump to a Coco 3 at this point.
In Basic 09 even, huh?
Yeah, and right now it's actually which got me thinking about using digital audio, because right now it's actually running too fast.
Oh wow,
It's
the
too
game
fast.
is running too fast.
Yeah, you can't follow the action. It actually needs something to slow it down, like some background music and sound effects. And So now this is it's just using VDG stuff, right? So that's part of the speed. But I've got a little machine language routine which just boom slams the 300 bytes worth of video image onto the screen all at once, real fast. And that's the speed there. And then Basic 09 itself, of course, is just faster. So.
Wow.
Steve has digitized toilet flush sound.
Yeah, I hear.
If you need it.
Well, there could be a use for that, I suppose. I'm thinking more like, war sounds and battle cries and, that sort of stuff, right?
You said you were scanning or you were typing off of a magazine. Did any of you guys try when the hand scanners came out to scan, to do OCR, with the scanner? When they first came out, anybody try that from the magazine?
I think I tried it once and it failed horribly.
Yeah.
Didn't work too well?
No.
Yeah,
I was excited
soundboard.
to try.
Great idea.
Even the OCR scans of the magazines on the archives, it's hit or miss trying. You can save a lot of time, then you spend a lot of time looking for typos where it's screwed up.
Yeah.
A couple of my old programs because they were so in the death throes of the rainbow that the discs aren't available on the archive.
Bruce Curtis says you'll have to let him know how much free RAM your game has left so he can figure out the maximum size of a sample that can be used in it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he can. Maybe he can make it adjustable. They could just be little. I mean, if all I got room for is little beeps and bloops that are only a second, then so be it. That's fine.
Yeah.
One of the things that I would probably try doing would be to have a little built-in audio player and then take the audio sample and build it as one module. That way you could just call the program. What the heck?
I was scratching on a book or something. I don't know what the hell's going on there. Go ahead, David. Sorry.
But that's what I would probably try. Is just combine the player and the sound sample in one.
I was just thinking the other day, I was going around my disk images, and I was looking at, I think it's Sockmaster's tracker, the mod player. And I was thinking, some of the basic games, it could have, there's still space in disk image. You could have the player that is just 2 granules in the disk plus some mod files and play them through that.
Yeah. Musica used to have that too, where you had an exe file you could call to play a single music file. And I actually had done that for like intro music and stuff, where I had taken different Musica files and played them as intro music or title music in basic games. It's by loading the exe file, telling it which music file to play, and it executes it, and then it returns back to basic.
Right.
So, yeah, similar concept there. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. So, can you tell us what you're working on, Basic 09, or is that still a guarded secret, Bruce?
Oh, it's a guarded secret, absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Well, what I can say is that it is an idea my brother had. After playing Forced to Do, we said, "Hey, wouldn't it be great if?"
Okay.
Oh, So I don't know if you want to call it a sequel or something inspired by, I suppose.
Okay, a spiritual successor.
I suppose something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the idea. But I'm not going to drop any names or anything yet. I gotta, get it past. I gotta get it to where it'll be almost ready. Maybe I can demo it. Maybe I can demo it at CoCoFest.
Yeah.
The wooded area of despair.
Wooded area of despair. Yes, it's the overgrown backyard of annoyance.
Forest of flatulence.
There you go. 3D printed. Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Curtis was asking if this was part of Coco Forever, but it sounds like it's not.
No. But I did get another episode out today, and that's 6. And let's see, there's is that episode 6 today? I think so.
I think that's what you said. Yeah.
8, 9. There's only 3 episodes to go.
Oh, that's right, because there's only 9.
Right, and so it's really heating up actually.
Wow, and I'm so far behind. Yeah,
it's getting really intense in the story. So I think when you get to let's just say it's pretty intense at the moment.
Excellent.
You get to hear Coco Man doing his best, real pissed off security guard impersonation.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, that's no. My bad.
Jason puts the talent in voice talent.
I could have done that.
Yeah, if you want pissed off, Richard Lorbieski is your man.
That's right.
Is there going to be a season 2 for Coco Forever?
Well, we'll just have to see how how it ends. It's gonna be really interesting.
The sequel will be Coco Whenever.
Designed by Stevie. That's why whenever.
Yeah.
You think when you think about Curtis says or Coco whatever. When you think about the Coco history book, right? The colorful history of the Tandy's Underdog computer. Yeah. There's a few chapters that could be added to that book, just in things that have happened in the community since the book came out. There wasn't a Coco Crew podcast when that book was out there. There wasn't CoCoTALK. CoCoFest existed, but CoCoFest has grown leaps and bounds since social media has put a spotlight on it. Yeah. All the new hardware that's come out since that book has come out, and the speed of which hardware and software is being produced now. It's amazing. There's the afterlife, the second life, if you will, of the Coco. Really needs to be another chapter in that book.
Yeah. And now the Coco laptop's coming out, so that'll be cool.
The Coco laptop?
Maybe in his story.
That's the Model 100C for color, right? So,
I always wanted to do a mod or something. I mean, the Coco's motherboard is not that big.
Yeah.
You should be able to put it in some... I always thought even to buy one of those B-Tech laptops for little kids.
Oh, yeah?
Buy one of those things, the largest one I could find, crop everything out, put a Coco in there, see if... Yeah, but no. I don't have the heart to open up mine and got it.
I used to have my Coco in my van. I had a AC adapter for the monitor.
Okay.
Monitor, and I had 12 volts hooked to the motherboard. And it worked.
Wow. Hello, Siesta Aurora on Mixer. Or Silist Aura. I can't read that name too good. Silist Aura, I think is your name. Hello to you watching us on Mixer. We're talking retro systems here. Or like did you have like an inverter that ran all that run?
Just an inverter for the monitor.
Okay.
You had to have something to see it on. And back then there was no, you had to have a small TV, black and white TV or whatever from the truck. And then I did 12 volts on the, I figured out where to put the power, and it came up, and I had, I was able to use it in the van.
Wow.
I don't know why, just something to do. That's like, who had somebody had a Coco in a Toyota or something.
That was Boise Pete. Didn't Boise have like OS 9 running on something in his like I forgot what he called it, but it was like Yoda 09 or something like that, where you had to
Yeah.
Yeah, Boise Coyote. Coco Toyota.
it.
Coyote. Okay. Yeah, it wouldn't be the first time a computer's been in a car, but a retro machine, that's kind of cool. It would be somewhat easier to make a laptop out of like a Coco Pi. They actually make Raspberry Pis with like a little portable flat screen that you can actually put the Raspberry Pi behind the screen and almost make it like a tablet.
Yeah, they're a little pricey.
Yeah, because you need this.
Didn't Alan have one in Coco Fest? A Raspberry Pi laptop or something like that?
I'm not sure on that. No, I have the same Raspberry Pi setup that Ron showed, where it's got the official Raspberry Pi display. I can't think of who makes the case, but it puts the Raspberry Pi, the LCD, in this nice case that has a mount on the bottom that you can either set the display up or you can screw it to a wall and mount it up there. And it's nice. I was thinking about using one of those in the car with one of those Bluetooth adapters on the diagnostic port on the car. Or Coco.
Coco in the car. And does that screen tap directly into one of the display outputs of the Pi so it bypasses the HDMI port and everything?
Yeah, it's using the actual ribbon cable port on the Pi.
The G something, the G.
I can't think of the
G1 or something. I don't know.
The G-Whiz.
G-Whiz, yeah. And I think you end up losing access to the HDMI port when you do that too, right? Because it kind of blocks it once you have it all put in there.
Yeah, the official Raspberry Pi display isn't really too high res, though. Unfortunately, I found that out because I wanted to use the Arduino IDE with it. And unfortunately, it expects you to be using at least like a 720 display. And I think the Raspberry Pi display is like 480 pixels. So you're kind of short for your vertical resolution.
Is that a touchscreen?
Yes.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
Yeah,
actually, I might have to get that.
A while ago, I was looking at one of those Chinese websites, dx.com, and they had some. This is a 5-inch touch screen with an HDMI connection for $40, free shipping. So I was actually thinking, it's 800 by 480. It's good enough for the Coco.
Yeah.
Yeah, in my case, I don't really care about the touch display, but Best Buy has been having a regular sale on one of their branded 18.5-inch LCD TVs, and it works really well with the SCART adapters. And the composite port that's on it actually works with the Coco 2 and 1.
Oh, nice.
So, because usually it's hard to get up-to-date TVs that like the composite from the Coco.
Yeah, because the composite's like a 240p. That's really a hack of the CRT signal. So it doesn't really conform to digital very well.
But,
so that's a very cool feature that it supports composite.
Yeah, it's 2 HDMI and 1 composite, and it's $69.
Oh wow! And it's an 18-inch flat panel TV / monitor.
Yep.
And is it 720p or does it do 1080p
720.
too? Yeah, that's still not bad. That would work good for Raspberry Pi in your case because you got that 720 resolution.
Yep, and it's got the 75 by 75 Visa mount support on the back, so it'd be perfect for anything in that case. So hook it up to the Coco or
put it on a swing arm where you can move it around and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, neat. $69. That's not a bad price.
Yeah, normally it's $79, but I've noticed that Best Buy seems like every other weekend that TV's on sale for $69.
Neat, yeah. Yeah, one of my computer monitors is a Vizio 24-inch TV, and the only reason why I bought it is because it was 1080p. And at the time I bought it, it was cheaper than buying a 1080p monitor. And it's okay. It's not quite, the dot pitch isn't quite as sharp as a real computer monitor, but it doesn't suck. And it's a smart TV, so if I wanted to, I could use the remote and pull up Netflix right on it or something like that, which I don't care about. I'm just using it as a computer monitor. I never tried the composite on it, though. I'm wondering how that would work. And what are we looking at there, Ron Delvaux?
Well, this is a
Insignia?
Insignia that I got for $9 at a garage sale.
That's Best Buy's brand, Insignia.
Yeah, it works really nice, and I got a zapper to work with it, RCA. And
okay,
you're able to. I made the right what do you call it? Size for the screen, so it's correct for a Coco.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, the aspect ratio.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it works nice, and I can take it with me in the suitcase.
yeah. I've got a little, not too big, but it's maybe a 22-inch. It's a Samsung. Again, it's a TV / monitor, and it's got HDMI, and it's got the coax input, but it's also got, I think, VGA and even DVI, if I'm not mistaken. So it's got a lot of different inputs. And I was thinking when I go to VCF Midwest, when I go to show off my game on a Coco, I'm probably going to bring that screen in the Coco Pi and just run it off of that, because this is fairly portable. Neat.
Now that's going to be interesting to see how we do Coco Fest from there, or not Coco Fest, but CoCoTALK from there.
Yeah. I hadn't figured out or planned on it yet, but we'll figure it out once we get there, I guess. We have to find a quiet spot or not so quiet spot. Ooh, excuse me, man. Past my bedtime. Good times. So who haven't we talked to tonight? Or who hasn't talked about something tonight? Richard, anything you want to enlighten us with?
Don't buy plastic straws.
There you go.
Richard.
Luis Fernandez is here. Hello, Luis. And Arena Foot has been here for a while. And is that Eldon Foot, too? Is that the guy who's he's from Australia, I think? Luis Fernandez says, question, hey, guys, I wanted to ask you if you know about the AGD Arcade Game Designer project for Coco. It's being made by Pete, and it already has some advances. Yeah. We talked about that a little bit earlier. I shared the blog post or the forum post from the Dragon Archive, but I haven't really read all the details yet. But we are aware of it, Luis, but I don't know exactly how far along it is. So if your question is, are we aware of it? We are aware of it, but I don't know exactly how far the progress is. And Luis is in Mexico, I believe. So we have another South American to join you there, Diego.
Hey.
In the house. Hola.
Hola, Luis.
So, Richard, was there anything you wanted to share with us?
Not right now.
All right.
I'm just working on boomerang boards and also joystick adapters. So,
you get upgrades to do very often?
Oh yeah, shoot, I get them all the time. A lot of people just opt to send their motherboards to me, and I upgrade them. And of course, what I also do is I take the caps out and redo the caps and clean the board, ultrasonic clean it, and also now I'm starting to replace the cartridge buffer, which is that 74 LS 245. I put an ALS 245 in there.
What's the advantage of that?
It's just a more robust and I would say more reliable chip than the old LS245.
So what chips tend to fail on Cocos, since you see a bunch of them? Processor?
Probably the processor is number one.
Because of the cartridge port in and out?
Yeah, cartridge port, and then of course sometimes it's the buffers that will go out. There's several of those. A couple of gimmies have gone out, but most of them is just usually loose. Just everything has to be reseated.
Now, when you said a cartridge buffer, is that something that goes in between the expansion slot in the system board?
It actually goes between the CPU and the cartridge port.
Okay, so
you'll see a 20-pin cartridge chip. That's what that is.
And is this similar to like kind of what the Guardian does for the CPU?
Yes. Yeah, it's already built in the Cocos, and if you have a multi-pack interface, either Ed Snyder's or just the Radio Shack ones, it has buffers in there too, because that signal has to go from the Coco to your peripheral, and so they actually put that, because not only that, it also strengthens the signals, the data lines, and the address lines.
Okay, so Retro Innovations is saying only the Coco 3 has the buffer, though.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. He is correct.
Okay. Neat hardware stuff.
Yeah, and I put it in a socket, so if it ever goes out, or if you want to put the original one back in there, you can. Because I usually, when I take it out, I always save the LS245.
So is it tough if your gimme chip goes, because they're not making those anymore? And who has a stockpile of those laying around?
I don't know if anybody has a stockpile. You're just gonna have to buy another Coco 3 and
pull out the gimme.
Yeah.
It becomes an organ donor.
Yeah. And that or wait for the Gimme X.
Yep. Which sometimes you have to wonder. It's like, dude, you were working on the Gimme X, and now you started a multi-pack, and now you're showing us a keyboard. When are we going to get the Gimme X? So he's got all these projects. He keeps spawning new projects, and I think a lot of people would like to have that Gimme replacement, especially for people with the 86 versus the 87, and old Cocos that maybe that's all they need is a Gimme. That's the only part you can't get on the open market.
Finance his Gimme X with his other projects.
Yeah, I guess so, huh?
Maybe.
Go fund me or something.
Well, as Gimme X, the other thing is it also has built-in VGA in there too. So that's the other advantage of having it.
Okay, Curtis says it's the software he's waiting for, which he thinks Gary Becker is doing. Okay.
Oh yeah, it is definitely Gary Becker.
So isn't it like almost, if you think of it, it can be done?
Ed, maybe.
Sure seems like that.
Yeah, it's almost to the point where we can create what we can imagine, right?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah,
I can imagine a lot.
It's that line in Star Wars. What would the reward be? Well, it would be more than you can imagine. Well, I don't know. I can imagine quite a lot.
So really, back in the day when the Model 1 Coco came out, I don't think anybody ever thought of emulating on a PC, right? I mean,
PCs didn't even exist.
Yeah, so I mean, any kind of emulation didn't come in until when? Around the time of the Coco 3?
Oh no, yeah, you could do emulations, but the problem was it was just very expensive.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, when you read Sockmaster's little write-up on Donkey Kong, he was saying that in order to emulate a system, the parent system needs to be like a factor of 5 more powerful as far as speed or capacity. It needs to be an average of 5 times greater than the system you are emulating, just for the overhead of software pretending to be hardware. So,
wow.
But I would imagine that, for example, maybe some 16-bit systems, like maybe the 68,000, maybe did it have a 6809 emulation mode in it or compatibility mode? Does anybody know? Like on a hardware level or anything?
No.
No?
The MM1 that I have, the OS9 68,000, there was a OS9 6809 module that would run the OS9 6809 programs, but the problem is that it only worked with programs that went through system calls. So if there was anything that directly wrote to memory, that wouldn't work. Like those that tried to do games directly to the video memory or stuff like that was out.
Okay, so Curtis is saying it was software. MM1 came with, it says, so he said 68,000 did not have hardware emulation, but it did have 6809 emulators. The MM1 came with such a program, and I think the System 4 and 5 did too. So it's more like Wine that just captured and rerouted the API. So kind of like how Wine lets Windows stuff run on Linux and Mac and stuff.
Yep.
Okay. Interesting. So I wonder if and at least now we know, like on a modern processor, there's hardware-based emulation. So a modern Intel CPU has got, virtualization built into the CPU, but this is now. So I wonder when some of the first home computers were able to run virtual machines.
Oh, the Amiga did.
Yeah.
I remember one time we emulated a Mac, emulating a PC, emulating another Mac.
Oh, I'm sure that was fast.
Oh, yeah, it was lightning fast.
That reminds me of some people saying, well, I still like to use the Jeff Vazasur Coco emulator, so I'm going to run DOSBox on Windows to run the DOS-based emulator to emulate a Coco. And I'm thinking, there's got to be a better way. But some people like that emulator, and that's how they want to do it. So
it's redundantly redundant.
I wonder what there's going to be next that we can't even envision yet. Like in 10 years or 20.
And would that be one of the unknown unknowns as opposed to the known unknowns?
Well, it's just like what we were saying when first Cocos came out and stuff. We didn't think of there being a Super Coco or whatever.
Right, an emulated system. Yeah. Yeah, I tell you one of the things that I think is going to happen. What is Paul Thayer saying? Are you dudes using Discord now? No, we're actually on. Well, if you go to Discord, you can get the instructions on how to join us on Zoom. We're using Zoom, Paul Thayer. One of the things that I do envision with like game consoles, or I don't know if it's on my envisioning or maybe just my wishful thinking, but right now we're still in this whole platform thing where we've got the Sega, or not the Sega, but like the Sony's got a system and Microsoft's got a system, and I would like to imagine a day where hardware and the platform, that really becomes an abstraction layer, and I don't have to worry about who makes the box. The box is just the thing we use to get to what we want, and it becomes content, and part of that is bandwidth and part of that's processing, and the bandwidth's definitely getting there. But even now, like when's the last time you bought music or you bought a movie? Everything is digital now, so everything you get, like I'm watching everything on Netflix. I don't have any plastic discs. I don't have a set-top player for my CDs or Blu-rays or DVDs. So I would imagine, and I would like to see it happen in 5 years. It might take 10 years, but I would imagine that the day of the Nintendo versus Sony versus Microsoft game consoles, that all those go away, and it's just the game box. And you buy the game box, and the box is a peripheral, and the software is just a service that is either streamed or digitally downloaded through the box. And I would like to see that happen, and, just focus on the software, because the hardware really shouldn't matter.
isn't the game engines now sort of a middleware that serves that purpose right now, such as Unity or that?
Yeah. A lot of the game development engines like Unity and Unreal Engine, they are cross-platform, but there's still this whole idea of these console exclusives that are used to kind of corner market. So there's certain game franchises that only exist on the PlayStation 4, and there's some.
That's more of a marketing thing than a hardware thing, isn't it?
To a degree, yes. We can debate and get into some real tech specs, which one is technologically superior. I think they're all pretty much on par. But really, at the end of the day, a PlayStation 4 or an Xbox One, they're just scaled down gaming PCs. They're all based on some type of x86 architecture using some type of GPU. And there's a lot of commonalities there. And as far as hardware goes, I would like to see a time when we don't have to worry about what's the brand name on the box. Let's just focus on the games, because that's the fun part.
But isn't that how our business world goes? I mean, everybody tries to do like IBM did and become the standard because their technology is better and they want everybody to conform to them, and they pop up and they become the standard maker, and then somebody else comes up and they want to be but isn't that kind of how our business models are?
You know, like competition driving innovation?
Exactly. Somebody's going to come out with some kind of a graphics engine that's going to be really, notches above, and then somebody's got a program for it, which means a system has to adopt it, or what? How does it work?
Yeah, I don't know. Again, Megan, this might be my wishful thinking, but I would like to see an end to the pissing contests where my system is better than your system. And I would like to see an end to the fact that as a consumer, I'll give you a perfect example. There's a very cool Spider-Man game now for the PlayStation 4. Because Sony owns the rights to Spider-Man still. So this video game only exists on one system, and it's a PlayStation 4 exclusive. And guess what? If you don't own a PlayStation 4, you can't play that game. And it's like, hey, I like Spider-Man. I like this game. It looks cool, but I'm not buying a full $100 console to play this game. So I now, as a consumer, I'm losing out on the experience of playing this game. And if it was more consumer focused, so let's just bring this, and that's where the money is anyways. The money's in the software and the licensing. There's very little profit on hardware sales. They usually sell them at a loss for a while.
Yep. Yeah, for a loss.
They're selling hardware at a loss until they make it up in a few years on selling enough units and selling enough software. So, software is where the money is. And again, I don't know if that's going to happen. That's just it's my pie in the sky.
You want to be a hardware socialist?
Yes. Yeah. Hardware socialist. Sure. Why not? So, in a way, with emulation, we have that now. Like you have something like the RetroPie. It is one hardware. It's one piece of hardware that runs all kinds of systems and hardware. Is that what you're running there, Jason? Is that a RetroPie?
It is.
Yeah. So at that point, it's a single hardware that can run all different types of software. So, hardware, at the speed of hardware, it's going to get to the point now where, I know people are always going to keep pushing it, but we're going to get to the point where the lines are so blurred on what system is what. It's really just a name on a box. And I would just like to see that socialist, as you say, Ron, thing happen there where, Sony can still have their software and they're going to have the licensing and the royalties of that software and the sales of that software, but, we can run their software on our game box, our generic game box,
Do you think Sony would make terrible versions of their games on other systems like Coleco did back
Yeah, that was pretty crappy of them to make those games suck on purpose.
Killer games.
You were talking about all this, and I was thinking, I remember the archive.org's website where you can actually play games. You just go on a browser and you can play games from almost any platform.
Okay.
And actually, we don't have an Android emulator for Coco, but I just went there. I don't know if...
I see it. That's Canyon Climber.
Yeah, I got Canyon Climber playing in my Android phone just because I went to the website and opened it from there. So it's running MAME on their servers, and I'm getting it streamed
Yeah.
regardless of what my hardware platform is.
Right.
So this is kind of cool.
Yeah, and that's something I see happening is that this digital distribution model in streaming and things like that. It's where when the technology gets a little better and the bandwidth gets a little better, we can stream it all.
That's like IP phones, remember?
Yeah.
They started out free and everything was wonderful, and then people start going, "Wait a minute, we can make money."
Yeah. So here's Curtis's 2 cents on this. He goes, the bleeding edge is usually where this breaks. He goes, a standard slows down innovation since you pretty much need a committee to decide the future direction rather than the hardware designers. Being able to freely experiment with new designs, not worrying about what the other guys are doing. And then Arena Foot says, video game console war 2 will be here soon. The new Atari VCS versus the Intellivision Entertainment console versus the ColecoVision HD console. So yeah, these are some new wave of some modern retro reboots that are coming. As far as I can tell, that Atari VCS has been vaporware from day one, and it's just been a scam to raise money. I don't know if anybody's opinion has changed on that, but I'm pretty sure that Atari VCS system will never see the light of day. My opinion on that box was too overpriced. The $300 for something that's not as good as a Nintendo Switch that's playing software that we already have, like the Atari Vault software that you can get on anything already. So anyways, who knows? But so there's other systems that are going to come out now too. Like supposedly there's going to be a Sinclair Spectrum new system coming out.
But isn't a lot of that oriented toward the younger people that don't really know all the stuff like and they'll see that and grab it and run with it?
It's for I think it's for the casual.
It's
for an enthusiast versus a diehard.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is that going to be a console war? I don't think so. Intellivision is going to make a new console. ColecoVision is going to make an HD console. So yeah, who knows?
Curtis is not a socialist.
So I don't know. I hate the idea of these video game exclusives where you can only play this game if you own that system, because at the end of the day, I feel like the consumers are the ones that suffer from that, because not everybody's going to be able to afford every system that exists.
Well, if you were rich, would your opinion change?
Honestly, I don't think so, because I still think I don't like the principle of it. I don't like that idea of buy our system to play this game, because that's how we want it.
But you could buy it.
Yeah, I could, but I think my ideals would not change with my bank account. So,
well, that's good.
Yeah,
that's good.
So, yeah.
What a guy.
There you go. All right. I feel like I'm doing all the talking here. Who else wants to talk?
Well, you're saying good stuff. This is your talk show. Did we forget?
And by the way, speaking of talking, you did a good job today, Ron Delvaux.
Yeah.
With Dennis.
Except for dropping the... Oops.
Yeah.
You saw the under parts of my leg. Yeah, Dennis was a good thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a great guy.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, we got to get some of these other characters that are floating around out there. They're out there.
Yeah, they're out there. The truth is out there, too.
Yep.
I want to believe. All right, well, we haven't run a commercial. It's been an hour. How about I run a commercial, give you guys a chance to think about something to talk about. I want you to think about this. Think about what you've done.
Just remember, Ron Delvaux is brought to you by Dramamine.
So we'll run a commercial and we'll be back. I'll grab another beer. Maybe I'll run 2 rounds of commercials, so we'll give ourselves about a good 2.5 minute break. I'll fill my bottle, and we'll be back in just a little bit with more Retro Talk After Dark.
Hi, I'm Bruce Moore, and this is Jacob Moore. Gotcha. And we are the Forest of Doom guys, and the Coco Forever guys, and we're at Coco Fest, and we love Stevie Strobe. Hey, this is Bruce Moore, author of Forest of Doom, and you're watching the original gamer, Stevie Strobe.
only the bravest souls enter. Only the most cunning return. Defeat innumerable monsters to ransom the king's scepter, stolen by the evil wizard. Your sword, shield, and wits are your only allies. Pray you find a magical inn as your only respite in the forest of doom.
For the Tandy color computer 1, 2, and 3.
November 2017. If you dare.
My fellow Americans, Australians, Canadians, Europeans, and all of you ands, I'm calling on all y'all to help us make the world great again by visiting the Retro Swag Shop at 8bit256.com, where you can get yourself a coffee mug like this with a little cute cartoon character that says, I'm a cocoa nut. You could also get yourself a coffee mug like this with a Color Computer 3 that says, I'm a cocoa nut. You could get yourself a deluxe travel mug like this with the CoCoTALK logo on it. You might even be able to get yourself a DVD like this with over 2 hours of gameplay goodness. It is time for us to rise up and make the world great again by enjoying some quality retro merchandise and Coco nostalgia. So please visit 8bit256.com and let's make the world great for the color computer. Thank you very much.
It's a Radio Shack Merry Christmas.
Oh, I remember that Christmas. Dad gave me my first shortwave radio from Radio Shack. What memories. This Christmas, we got our son's Color Computer 3 from Radio Shack. It hooks right up to our TV and was on sale for less than $130. The Color Computer 3 makes learning fun. Jimmy even lets me use it for word process when he isn't playing computer games. Lucky I still got my shortwave.
Save $70 on the sale-priced Color Computer 3, only at Radio Shack.
CoCoTALK will return after these messages.
All right, we'll come back after this.
In a world where RGB produces black and white video, one cable can make a difference.
That voiceover guy sucks.
Switcheroo. CoCo3ScartCable.com.
What's going on, guys? Stevie Stroh here, and I want to say thank you so much for being part of this adventure with us. It's been such a great experience. Switcheroo! Talk every week, and the support we get is just amazing. And so the fact that you watch and listen is all the reward that we need. However, if you would like to become a patron of the show and offer some financial assistance towards the production and hosting costs of the show, we do have a Patreon site available for that, and you can go to our website. Whoops, wrong button. I meant to hit the flush button there.
Yes, do us a favor and watch and listen to the show.
Fletcher, I don't need that report tomorrow.
Great, JT.
I need it tonight.
But JT...
JT! $300 on her office away from the office. Radio Shack's revolutionary model.
JT, you've been a little hard on Fletcher this week.
Phone directory and dialer. It even communicates with the office computer.
Fletcher, how's that report? Fletcher.
Radio Shack's Model 100. Save $300 and put it to work.
You'll go far, Fletcher. You'll
Now
go
bring
far.
me coffee.
Whoops, there we go. Whoops, hold on, wait a second. I'm screwing up here. Hold on. Where did it go? Let's finish that commercial right there.
Now return you to CoCoTALK.
There we go. Thank you, Speech Sound Pack, for that. All right, and we're back. Curtis Boyle says, yes, it was great having Dennis on. Wish I had been able to join. I talked to him at the Coco Fest. He demoed his ambient sound room at. Yeah, that ambient sound demo sounded really cool. What game are you playing there, Jason? Is that a Mario Brothers world?
It is a Mario clone. It's called Princess Rescue, and this is one of the things that Atari Age can't sell anymore because Nintendo gave...
Right.
You can tell Nintendo gave them a cease and desist. They didn't come out and say it, but it's pretty much assumed what happened.
And that's Chris Spry who made that, right? We
Right,
talked to him.
Chris Fry. He made that. He made this and that Zippy the Porcupine. That,
Yeah, like a Sonic thing. Sonic clone.
Sonic very esque game. Which
Yeah.
that Zippy the Porcupine, I believe you can still buy through Atari Age.
Yeah. So I had done a kind of a pre-interview with him. We didn't record it. We were just talking, but because he did the music for Pac Dude Monster Maze.
Yeah.
And so we'd gotten a hold of him, and I did a Skype call, and we were going to do an interview with him and the guy who made the game, and it just never happened. But he showed me his development environment, and he's using a program that's like called Atari Basic. That's kind of like a basic language, but it lets you write this software that then compiles down to run on a cartridge. So it was kind of neat having him show me like some of the tools he uses to work on his software and stuff. But we never got a chance to do that interview. But yeah, that looks really cool.
It's even got the music.
Yeah. Now, are you running that on real hardware?
No, I'm running this on RetroPie. But,
okay.
It's even funny with the Mario Brothers music playing through an Atari.
Oh, yeah. Stickfire67 says, hello, I'm back. Okay, Stickfire, welcome back. No, that looks good. It sounds good. Yeah, that was one of the things that disappointed me when I got my Atari 7800 is that graphically it looked great, but audibly using that 2600 sound chip, it was an ear sore.
And there was only like one or two games that had a sound chip, Ball Blazer being one of them. I can't remember what the other one is, but yeah, that was the downside. It still was using the same sound.
Why are you asking a Stickfire if this is a Comcast? I don't understand your question. Is this a Comcast? I'm not following you. What does Paul say, speaking of ear sores?
AT&T.
Oh, Rick, did you take down OmniStar? Is that why the whole node thing is gone?
History has been made.
Ooh.
OmniStar is no more.
Okay, for the first time ever, OmniStar has been defeated. System status 0%. User status 100%. You're an Ubernaut.
See.
I can't wait to get the latest version. Now the gauntlet has been laid down.
Wow.
Seems like there should be a mug or something.
Yeah, right. And
it's been done
in an acrylic box with LED lighting.
Oh yes, of course.
How's that saying go?
I know all the secrets, and even knowing all the secrets, it's kind of tricky. I think it's probably fair though.
Okay.
So I'll have to think about it, but yeah, it's probably fair. But you have to figure it all
probably.
out. Yeah. Well, fair is it's the redefinable topic, I suppose.
Right. There was no difficulty level,
right?
On Dungeons of Daggerath, for example.
Oh,
right. Daggerath had no difficulty level to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so Stickfire, you're saying, is this a Comcast? Did you mean to say, is this a podcast? Yeah, so this is a live talk show / podcast. Can you ask a question? Yes, you can ask a question, Stickfire. You just did, actually. Ask another. So, is this a Comcast? Yeah. Grant Leighty, you were vacant for most of the show. Anything you want to share with us about your life? Oh, wrong button.
Greg.
Earth to Greg.
Paging Greg.
He must have fell asleep.
We bored him to death. Okay. Yeah, so that Porcupine game looks pretty good. It looks like what you would expect a Sonic-esque game to look like on an Atari 2600.
Yeah, and if you don't do control, he starts tapping his foot impatiently.
Ah, look at that. Like, hey, what are you waiting for?
It's even got very Sonic X music.
Wow. He did a great job. He's a music guy, though. Chris Spry is. So.
Green Hill Zone.
Yeah, that is pretty damn good, I gotta say. Sonic's one of my favorite games.
I'm not very good at it, but I'm also playing it with an NES controller, which is kind of awkward.
Arena Foot saying, pull up the new Mappy for the Atari 2600. I don't know if you have that or not.
I don't have that handy.
Yeah, it's amazing what it's kind of like what people are doing now with the Coco. You know, just pushing it to limits that it wasn't pushed to at the time for whatever reason. We didn't have the knowledge, didn't have the time. And so now the 2600 of all systems, you know, it's got so many limitations to it. And the fact that people are pushing it the way they are. You know, you look at a game like the Atari 2600 Pac-Man, which was basically shit in a box, right? But the homebrew market has made a really good version of that game on the same hardware because it was done as a hobby. They weren't under a deadline or under pressure or anything else, and they just did it. And it's really neat to see what they can do.
And I can pull that up.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's what Curtis is saying. Nowadays, we have the knowledge and the time to perfect routines versus trying to hit deadlines. Yep.
We didn't have the time before they discontinued it.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, oh, here's the Coco 3. Wow, fantastic. What can we do with it? Well, nobody cares because we just discontinued it.
Yeah, right.
And at that point, you know, it's like, well, are we going to develop games for this? Well, heck no. It's kind of a pity.
Yeah, yeah.
But then we did.
Yep. And if you look at what's happening now with things like, you know, Donkey Kong Remix, Pac-Man, all these transcodes where they've ported real arcade games to that system, it's utterly impressive. So Stickfire is saying, I heard you guys were talking about exclusives. So if you want to talk about something exclusive, like a console exclusive, Stickfire, feel free to chime in with your 2 cents on system exclusives if you'd like. Rick, you said you were going to have a beer tonight. Have you had your beer yet?
I have had it.
You've had it. Okay. I'm
Yes,
on
I
number
have.
2. What are you drinking?
It is a Summit Ale Lazy Sipper, a balanced blonde ale with strawberries.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Balanced blonde ale.
Yeah, well, as opposed to unbalanced.
Unbalanced, yeah.
Like me.
Yeah.
You've heard it here. You heard it here first. Rick Adams is finished.
Yes.
Ken is drinking a Diet Pepsi.
1 beer is my usual limit. 2 is a little dangerous. 3 is right.
Had
on.
it.
Now, which Pac-Man are you playing there, Jason? Is that the updated one?
Yeah, this is the Pac-Man 4K, which you can buy a physical cart through Atari Age, although I just have it playing on RetroPie.
What was the size of the original Pac-Man? Was it 2 or 4?
It was a 4K. That was the whole thing they went through and see what they could do on a 4K ROM. The same size as the original.
And the Ms. Pac-Man was an 8, wasn't it?
I'd have to check. I don't remember off the top of my head.
Takes a lot more memory to store all that pink.
Well, someone made, I think the same person made an 8K version that has all the intermissions and everything, but I don't think that's actually a cartridge you can buy. I think you can download the ROM though.
Oh, neat.
This just proves it could have been done if they would have been given the time.
Yeah, yeah.
Instead of just saying, Todd Fry, have this done in 6 weeks and you get a big bonus.
Yeah. I don't even know if it was a bonus as much as just keeping your job.
I think he was a contractor at the time.
Oh, yeah? Yeah. Okay.
Hey, Steve, I got a thought about the show. Remember how at Coco Fest we had a little contest where the 3 people got up there and had buttons, and we did what do you call it?
Trivia.
Can we do that on the show? That would be cool, wouldn't it? Maybe. Maybe we could win something.
Yeah,
maybe we can have a mug.
All the change in my pocket right now.
Right.
Or something. You know.
So let's just forget about the prize for a minute, but just so the idea of a game show. Yes.
Yeah.
So there
That'd be
is.
fun.
There is, and so there's an actual website that is called Kahoot, Kahoot. And so with Kahoot, you can create a trivia contest with multiple choice answers, and then people can join either through a browser or through an app. And so you go through the questions, you select your answers, and somebody will win. So I had thought about doing that, and that's a great idea. So we need to revisit that. So what I need people to do is we need to now crowdsource some trivia questions with multiple choice answers. So if we can come up, well, don't say it now. We got to save it. So, but yeah, so if we could come up with a bank of questions and answers and put it into Kahoot, we could do that live and just post a link and let anybody join us online, pick a winner. Yeah, no, that's a great idea. I did want to do that. Now, so I think I mentioned this to you guys, but I'll mention it again. Because I just been so busy, I haven't had a chance to finish it. But if you guys remember, we got these autographs from CoCoFest, right? Everybody remember signing these?
Yep.
Yeah. So these go inside the DVDs. So there's Rick Adams' autograph right there, right? So, so what I want to do is I want to reproduce the best of CoCoTALK DVDs to include digital prints of these. And because I've got 3 different ones and there's 2 different DVDs, like Volume 1 and Volume 2, I'll have 2 different of these. So I do want to reproduce the best of DVDs with the sign from CoCoFest. So it's going to be like an exclusive autographed copy CoCoFest edition of the DVD. So that might be an interesting prize to award somebody. Whoever wins the contest, I can just say, hey, send me your address and I'll mail these to you. Autographed copies of the best of CoCoTALK DVD or something. So that's a project I'm trying to finish and get published so it's available to order online. And so that might make a prize, you know.
Yeah, good idea.
And then we just got to get the questions. We need a bank of questions. So we'll put that in the CoCoTALK Discord and start enlisting that. So now it looks like Jason is playing Popeye. Is that also on the 2600, Jason?
Now this is the NES version.
Ah, okay. I was going to say from a distance that looked pretty good to be an Atari game.
Oh no, the Atari 2600 one is downright awful.
Get the collard greens. Get the collard greens.
With collard greens.
Labeled S for collard greens. Yeah, I read it.
What a trip. What a trip.
I have the arcade version on here too, but yeah, I just this is harder than the Coco version.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks halfway decent. Looks like it's moving pretty quickly too.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, somebody, I forgot who it was, but somebody had left a comment on one of my early YouTube videos saying that the reason why Nintendo made Donkey Kong is that they wanted to do Popeye, but they couldn't get the rights to it. So they came up with Donkey Kong instead. And I'm not sure how you go from Popeye to Donkey Kong, but I think that was always their plan, was to make a Popeye game. Now, unfortunately, I don't think this game was as much of a commercial success or critical acclaim, but it's a neat game. It certainly is. But I don't know if this will be as well remembered example as Donkey Kong itself. Yeah, look at that. When he jumps down, the screen shakes and everything else.
Oh yeah, there's Smart Aleck Kid.
Smart Aleck Kid. Donkey Kong and ASCII. Does that game exist? Is there an ASCII version of Donkey Kong? The first Donkey Kong? That I'm not familiar with. Yeah, there is. There's Bruticus and Bluto, or Brutus, whatever the hell his name is.
Brutico.
Yeah,
Blutus.
it's both.
It's Blutosis. So, yeah, it looks good. So Luis is saying the first Donkey Kong was ASCII. Now that would be interesting to see. I wonder if that's the one that was kind of like on one of those flat LCD things. I think there was an early LCD Donkey Kong that existed at one point in time.
The Game & Watch?
Something like that, yeah. David Ladd, you still with us?
Am I?
I don't know. You are. Just checking. Got to check you for a pulse every now and then.
Guys, let me show you something here.
Yes,
You've
Diego.
seen one of this before?
CPC 400. Is that the Brazilian color computer clone?
Yep. That's one of them.
I've heard about it. I've never seen it.
Yep.
It's got MC10 keys, huh?
Oh yeah. I think they're probably worst. Yeah, you got some. It has a kind of weird ports in the back. It has
whole bunch of
an
them.
external power supply. You got something labeled K7.
Okay.
No idea what it is. You have another DIN for monitor. Then you have your serial, your 2 joysticks, and your TV,
Wow.
and the wonderful cartridge port.
Now, is that cartridge port compatible with Tandy cartridges?
No, they won't fit. I mean, you need to open the door, put the cartridge here. How was this?
Wow. Hey, I just got subscribed by Electro Master. Hello, Electro
what that was?
Maestro. Electro Maestro. Hello, how are you?
So those are the carts?
This is a cart.
Do those carts fit in a Coco?
I don't know.
Probably
Is
not.
it
huh?
kind of a different pinout?
Let me check mine. It's off. Let me see.
Let's see if we can release the magic smoke.
Remember, if it doesn't go
I
in
gotta go,
easy.
guys.
Okay, Rick. Thanks for being here.
Oh, you bet. You bet.
You have a
Take
Coco
care.
evening.
See ya.
Goodbye.
A new segment on Retro Talk.
Yes.
Will it fit?
Yeah, that's what she said.
Hey, okay. Let's try something.
Comparing to edge connectors, it's different. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
It looks like a
really
little more than
look like-
40.
Yeah.
Actually, okay. This thing goes in.
So just remember, if it doesn't go in easily the first time, continue to apply pressure. Eventually, it will.
If it doesn't fit, you must acquit.
You know what? It actually. I don't know if I can try to show it somehow.
Do they do match up?
They kind of do match up.
Interesting.
So
It
maybe
looks like they're not gold, though. Are they?
take it out of the cartridge.
Hey, Rex Beat has just joined us. So yeah, maybe if you take it out of the plastic box, you might be able to get an edge connection going there.
Yep, maybe.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think the CPU is busted though.
Hmm.
And yeah, but I need to get somebody who's willing to give it a try. I have some spare 6309s here.
Yeah, yeah. Now, did that actually clone the Microsoft Basic ROMs of the original Coco?
Yep, I even have a ROM image for this that you can run with I think XROAR or MES or even the old ones, the DOS based ones. And yeah, it's the same. They just got rid of the welcome screen. I think it just says Color Basic CP400 and something just like that.
Oh, okay.
Just
So they've stricken Microsoft from the record.
oh yeah.
And
But I'm
Tandy.
pretty sure that if you do CLS 9,
Yeah.
was it that you get the Microsoft?
Or maybe they would change it to say L Microsoft. That's cool. No, I've never seen one of those. Those are definitely uncommon in the States for sure.
Yeah, yeah, and believe it or not, I mean we're just very close. We're border country with Brazil, and they never got here. So, well, and it's it's funny the keys they got the color keys and everything.
Yeah, that is interesting.
What's the bottom look like?
Bottom, there's not much in it. There's a couple of labels.
Is there a warranty void if removed?
Nope. I guess there was no warranty at all.
What about are there any copyright notifications on this counterfeit machine?
Nothing at all. It's a CP400 color, 16K in the green label.
I think that one label says return to Retro Innovations for warranty service.
Yeah, it's actually down here. Yeah, it's the last one. Everything.
Best used with this system is best used with a Boomerang E2 board.
It has, it has the address actually of the factory. and it has serial number. It's actually scratched in the label.
Oh, like an engraved serial number?
It's
No,
probably
actually-
somebody's apartment number.
Actually, it looks more like it's the label. It's kind of metal, and like somebody just scratched it with some kind of knife. That's what it looks like.
Wow.
So yeah, that's it. No, there's nothing much more here. What was? Todo okay. Todo bien. Everything is okay. it says.
Okay.
Well, it wasn't.
Everything was okay once.
Yep.
Might not be okay now.
And well, no, nothing on the sides, nothing else. I just gotta ask around, try to figure out what the K7 connector was. I don't know.
It's one more than a K6 connector.
No, it was a connection to that space station for the tribbles.
Oh, right.
That's out of the box.
Wow. So that's a rarity. I've got something fairly uncommon. I've got an MSX system, and I don't think those are very common in the United States. I'm on my second one now because I've juggled them with Michael Brandt. The first one he gave me was a Yamaha system that was designed to plug into keyboards, so it had a bunch of MIDI ports on it and a bunch of other stuff. So it was really meant for interfacing with a lot of different musical instruments and stereo outputs and stuff like that. Curtis says fairly uncommon is Stevie getting into level 2. Yes. MSX was a neat looking system there. I think it ran on a Z80 processor. Had it had a music chip and a 16 color graphics chip with sprites and hardware scrolling. I think a lot of the hardware in it is similar to what the ColecoVision has, which I believe is somewhat similar to what the TI has. So it seems like a good system. It does have a cartridge slot. I believe there is a multi-cart you can get for it too, where you can load it up with ROMs and play a bunch of different games off of one cartridge, similar to like a Coco Flash or Coco SDC. One of these days I'll fire it up and look at it.
It has a Microsoft Basic that it's not that different from the Coco.
Oh yeah. I think that's what the MS stood for in MSX, right? Because Microsoft made the Basic for it.
Yep.
Yeah. There's a Facebook group for MSX too, I think. And from what I understand, it was kind of like a platform where anybody could make an MSX computer. And
Right,
so,
yeah. It was a standard that Microsoft was trying to push in those days.
yeah. Still 8-bit though, right? Because it's based on the Z80.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, supposedly if you got peripheral or software for one MSX, it's supposed to work with all the other ones.
Right. Yeah. Ambitious. Yeah, it's too bad Curtis isn't here with us, and we're not going to have Curtis for 2 weeks, and I guess we lost Grant completely. Put him to sleep, I guess. Oh, he was working, though. He did say he was still working. So, but we got David Ladd, so we're doing good.
Are you sure about that?
Oh, yeah, David.
Let me see what else
And we don't have Mark Overholzer with us. We had Mark in Minecraft earlier. So, coming soon to this same YouTube channel, more Minecraft videos. What are you looking? You doing some mining there, Jason? You get your miner's hat on.
This is my Mark Overhoser hat.
Mark Over. Underholzer.
Oh. You look like you're gonna do I don't know. Are you a gynecologist or what's going on here? What are you?
No. No. Just one of these little cheapy magnifying things from Harbor Freight. Get a little bit of extra magnification.
There you go.
Yes, but that gives you better exploration.
That's for old people.
Jim Brain wants to know what he's missed so far. What's the topic?
Absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
Jason playing Popeye rather than Sailor Man.
What was that, Al?
Jason's playing the real Popeye rather than Sailor Man on the Coco.
Oh, yes. He's playing the real Popeye.
And this is the real one. This is the arcade version here I have up now. Playing on the RetroPie.
Ah, the authentic Popeye.
authentically authentic, and then I am running. It's kind of weird, some of these games, because I'm playing them on an NES controller that I have a little I have a real NES controller, and I have a USB adapter to hook it into the RetroPie. So it's trying to play Princess Rescue, the Atari 2600 game. It's just so awkward because you're hitting B to jump, and I was just completely sucking at it.
Earlier, you were using the NES controller to play the Sega game in an Atari emulation.
Yeah, we're coming full circle here.
Yeah. Ideal Access is now following us on Mixer. Thank you, Ideal.
Mixer, is that for like adult beverages?
It is. It is.
Do you swipe right? What?
Yes. Yes, we did make a reference to Retro Innovations, is what Rob Inman is telling Jim Brain, who's now just catching up on the show. You missed the what is it called? CP400?
Yep. Got it here.
Yeah, there's from what I understand, he's handling the warranty service on those also. I believe that's
from Brazil.
Diego said that's what one of the stickers said anyway.
Yeah, I already got the label to send it to him, so he can fix it.
Okay, Curtis Boyle has just given us the YouTube link to watch Ladder Man, which is something running on the K-Pro in text mode. Of course, now when I click on it, I'm getting an exclamation point. Why am I getting an exclamation point? Curtis, I'm getting an exclamation point. That's a bad link. It must have gotten chopped off.
That CP400 looks like my Timex Sinclair 2068.
Yeah, that YouTube chat tends
there we go.
Totally.
Here we go. I got it. I got it.
Right.
Let me switch over to full screen here, and I will show you guys the Ladderman game that Curtis Boyle has shown us. Oh, I saw this. I saw this posted today. I didn't know what it was. I get it now. So the H is like the ladders. The equal sign is the platform. This is a broken ladder. I get it. I saw a picture of this, and I had no idea what it was. So let's take a look at this real quick. So, here's the guy. Here's the barrels falling, and here's the P is Mario. Okay, so Mario's climbing up. He's jumping over. Oh, a barrel just fell because that's a ladder. Oh, he jumped on the ladder. Oh, you can jump up. That's cheating. He jumped up and grabbed that higher ladder. I can't tell the P's from the O's now. Okay, he should be like an uppercase P. Okay.
The right spot, it spells poo.
Yeah, right? Okay. That's actually pretty cool, though, when you think about it. Just an ASCII version of Donkey Kong. It can be done.
What is... I think it says Easy Street.
Yeah, maybe that's the name of the first level because it's an easy level. Okay. And he just got to the top. Now this one's called Long Island. Ah, interesting. Okay. Well, we've seen it. We have seen it.
Very cool.
You can't unsee it.
It can't be unseen. Neat though. Yeah, thanks. There you go. There's the link.
And
yeah,
Jim
you can
Gary
get.
will soon be bringing that game to your MC10.
Yeah, right. Right.
It's not there already.
You can get decent speed when all you have to do is move text. You're only moving 1 byte at a time, and it moves an entire cell each time. I had done years ago as a kid. I'd done a Donkey Kong clone using the low-res semi-graphics mode, the 64 by 32 mode. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Somebody just mentioned about the Timex Sinclair and the CP.
Yeah.
They do look a lot like each other.
Oh my God.
Kind of.
Quite a bit.
The CP400's a little bit bigger, but yeah, I guess that somebody got the idea on how to make the case from the other guy, because they really look a lot like them. The keyboard is similar, layout and everything.
They both have cartridge ports in the same.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Luis just sent a picture here too. Let me move this over. Let's make this bigger. So here's an early screenshot of the Adventure Game Designer for the Coco. Oh, it's not getting any bigger. Can you guys see that?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, that's definitely a VDG screen.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, cool. Thanks, Luis. Yeah, that does look a lot like the Spectrum, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, the 2068,
Right.
which is the Timex, the American Timex version of the Spectrum.
Okay. Cool. So you got some interesting systems there, Diego.
Does that one work?
Actually, both of these are dead. The only things that I got working are the Atari, the Commodore 64. I have a Atari 800, and everything else I think it's dead. I have a dead Amiga. I have a dead Apple II, Commodore 128. I have a Model 100 that's working. A PC4, the pocket one.
It's a shame that CP400's dead. Those are nice units.
Yeah, I hope that it's just the CPU, and I'll find somebody with skilled enough to change it without, blowing the whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I would not send it to Boyson Technology then.
No. Hey, you know what? Worst thing. In 2 years, I'm going to be in 2020. I'm going to CoCoFest, and I'll get the motherboard in my back, and I'll take it there. Somebody will fix it for me there.
Yeah, see Curtis Boyle.
Okay, yeah. So he's just sent us the picture. So Luis sent us the picture of this, but Luis, we just showed the video. So Luis is sending me some text messages in Skype. We just showed the video of Ladderman. Curtis has just given me a video of a text-based Pac-Man game that also runs in CPM. Let's take a look at this Pac-Man game here real quick. There we go. Let's see what this looks like. Ketchum, it's called, huh? Ketchum. Man, this looks like a PC.
Sounds like one.
It looks like a PC.
It's a K. It says Terminal K Pro.
K Pro, yep.
Yeah. What are you waiting for?
Okay.
Enter one of the above. There we go. That get set. Oh, it's got A's. Oh, it's like, and it goes between an upper and lowercase C for the chomping mouth. That's actually kind of clever if you think about it. It's animated, and you got a letter O is the power pill. The period is the dot you eat.
What's the dollar sign?
Where is it? The dollar sign must be the fruit you get, right? For points, your bonus cherries or whatever. Now, how do you know when they're M? M is when they're like a ghost. Okay, lowercase m is when they're a ghost. One thing I noticed is that you see like the little cursor next to the character every time it's being printed. So when you do like that print at, it has to put the cursor on the screen. So that's, I guess, an unavoidable thing there, how that character generator works. That is really clever.
Yep.
200 bonus. Oh, he's eating the M's. 400 bonus. 800 bonus. Can he get the 600 bonus? Can he do it? Can he go all the way? Yes, he did. He got all the ghosts. I don't believe it. It says on the screen. I don't believe it. Believe it.
Believe it or not.
Yeah. Yeah, Curtis Boyle says wicked sound effects. Oh, man. That is actually pretty cool. I got to say. The game I made for MS-DOS Cosmic Aliens, it was a similar thing, too. I was using text characters. But at least on the PC, some of your text characters are almost like graphics. Like my alien faces were smiley faces. The bombs look like bombs and stuff, So some of the symbols you could get with one character looked like a graphics thing instead of just a letter. But that's pretty clever, I got to say. And it kind of goes to show really what's the most important part about playing a game, right? It's really the game, right? And is that the game's playable and the game is fun, the graphics aren't necessarily as important.
Unless it's Tomb Raider.
And can you imagine an ANSI, an ASCII text Tomb Raider? I think Lara Croft would. What's that, David?
There's a Coco challenge.
Yeah, right. Tomb Raider on the Coco. Yeah, there's Pac-Mania. That's like Pac-Dude Monster Maze that Jason's playing over there. Not bad. Not bad, not bad, not bad.
That's for the NES.
Yeah. All right, so Jim Brain is here. Retro Innovations is here in the dark.
For your warranty needs.
That's right.
How are you, Jim?
Okay.
Are you intentionally blacked out?
No, I am not intentionally blacked out. I'm an unintentionally blacked out.
Okay. Okay.
I don't think I've gotten on Zoom since you guys moved over, so I've probably got something that's set up right.
Okay. No worries.
I just thought I would smell the glove.
Yeah, cute.
There he is. Hey, Rob Inman says my 16-slot MPI is not working, Jim.
Yeah, well, actually plug it in next time.
And that's just the type of service you can expect.
Have you tried switching it on and off?
No. Check that ON-OFF switch.
That's right.
It's the on-off key.
It's the on-off key. Or the off-on. Off-on.
Yeah.
I don't know. The one side says no. I think it might be upside down.
Funny.
I can't find the any key, though.
No shit. So what have you been up to, Jim? We haven't heard from you in a while.
Summer.
Summer?
Actually, I crawl outside of from under the bridge. I actually go pick up some cans, get some returns, buy some clothing for the winter, stock up on beans, stuff like that.
Awesome. Who holds your ankles when you go dumpster diving?
Hides under bridges.
I see some Cocos in the background there, Jim.
Oh, do you? Well,
and he stocks up on T-Bird.
They look like Cocos.
Hey, look at it. And then Popeyes. We were just playing Popeye earlier.
Yeah, right. Love that chicken from Popeyes.
Yeah, I'm feeling it now. That Cajun gravy. Woo-hoo.
Feel the burn.
Right. Yeah, it is kind of slow going. I've got a bunch of stuff. Got to start getting ready for Tandy assembly. So even though it's November, they come up quicker than you think. So VCF Midwest is coming up in September. So here in another week or so, I gotta start getting ready for the show, and then there's a show trying to get to a show in Vegas. That's going to be the end of August. So
neat. Is that a vintage event?
It's a Commodore show, so it's not a Commodore show. But I'm sure some folks will probably once I've ironed up travel and whatnot to get there. I'm sure folks will be like, "Hey, can you bring, something for the Coco?"
Yeah,
show?
while you're here. Right?
That's right. While you're here.
Yeah.
So
they don't want to hear your excuses. They just want product.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. Now, have you added blinky lights to your products lately?
Blinky lights. That's how you measure the value of something, is how many lights it has on it. So 2 lights is twice as valuable as 1. So
yeah, when you come to Vegas, bring some boomerangs.
You're gonna have to talk to Richard about that. Richard's the man with the plan on the boomerang. Sounds to me like he's having trouble keeping up with demand.
Oh yeah. I'm keeping up.
Mm-hmm.
I just got mine today.
The boomerang is the second best-selling item next to the switcheroo lately, it seems.
That's right. And both of those folks are on the call tonight. So
yeah.
Well, I haven't got too many warranty returns on either one of them so far, so that's good.
Yeah. This is the show that launches people's careers in hardware design.
Fake Australian accessories are the thing right now.
Fake
Australian accessories.
Yeah, all the hottest products have Australian-sounding names.
Boomerang, switcheroo.
I'm gonna go meet at Outback and celebrate.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yes,
we can split a bloomin' onion.
That's what I was going to say. The next cocoa product, the blooming onion.
Put another shrimp on the Barbie.
That's it. Looks like Ron's looking up his astronomy stuff here.
Yeah.
Now that's a knife.
Ron, can you show us a close-up of Uranus?
Just coming up.
No, it is an After Dark show. Hey, look at the time. Gotta
go. It's been cleaned.
What phase is Uranus in at this time of the year?
How come they don't mess up the word Venus?
What, did we all become amateur proctologists?
There's Uranus right here.
It's looking kind of blue. What are you, a baboon?
Blue hole.
And here we
I'm
go.
using OS 9, guys.
It runs in OS 9.
Well, Nitrous 09.
Yeah. Under ease of use.
Yes.
A little bit more oxygen.
How many moons does Uranus have?
Quite a few. They're called dingleberries.
Some asteroids.
At nearly the 2-hour mark, here we go.
Hey guys, I heard everybody talk about Uranus, so I thought I'd join.
There you go.
Oh.
Speaking of asteroids, it's Grant Leighty.
Oh, fuck you. Oh, sorry.
Oh, it is After Dark.
Okay.
No,
There goes the family. I think we lost the family-friendly tag quite some time.
I forgot. Sorry.
Grant, we were talking about asteroids, not hemorrhoids.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
Rexbeat says this is a disaster.
Bump.
Tom C.
I think
says,
some of us might need to be cut off. I don't know.
yeah, right. What are you drinking now there, Ken?
For that.
Is Ken upgraded to alcohol?
Yeah, it's a Mick Ultra.
Mick Ultra. Nothing's more manly.
Is that a Scottish beer?
This train wreck is well underway.
Where's the train whistle?
Yeah, where's the train sound effect?
Hold on. There we go. Get the train wreck underway. Wait a second. I just saw Ron Delvaux's Uranus. Oops, wrong button there. Hold on. Let's try this again. We've just seen Ron Delvaux's Uranus. There we go.
It's pronounced Uranus now, which is
Uranus.
better.
Urine us.
You're in for it now.
You're fine.
It's my party, and I'll cry if I want to.
Just remember, Pluto is no longer a planet.
That's right. He's a cartoon dog.
He's Mickey's dog. There's Ron. Space, the final frontier. What are we looking at there, Ron?
Well, we got Venus setting in the west. Jupiter's up pretty high still. And we got Pluto and Saturn coming up on the east. And Mars is just on the horizon.
Now, does the even though this is an older software based on how the planets have been rotating pretty much the same way they've been rotating for more than 30 years now, does this software still accurately show you where they are?
Yes, it does.
And is it Y2K compliant so it knows where we are? And
yes, it is. Yep.
Okay. So with this old software, you can still track the constellations where they currently are in the heavens, and you're going to see
correct.
That's pretty neat if you think about it.
Pluto is in Sagittarius and Saturn, and Jupiter is in this one here. I can't tell the name of it. Anyway, you can see the Milky Way.
Yeah, what about this?
I'd rather have a Snickers.
Yeah, Snickers or Three Musketeers, but whatever.
Yeah,
a couple of Twix bars. Cool stuff. Yeah, Jim, you're going to be joined by a lot of us at VCF Midwest.
Yeah, I know. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah,
I think you guys are really enjoy the show. I'm a big fan.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just judging on how the emails are going so far, they're definitely organized and on the ball,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
which is
they are.
refreshing.
Yeah, Jason Timmons. I mean, it's. I think it's just a really good show, and of course the price is right. So everybody basically come in for free. You can set up tables for free, so there's no charge for anything. I mean, obviously there's a donation box, and so they put some money in the kitty, but the price is definitely right for folks who want to try one of these on, and it's in Chicago, so usually pretty cheap flights into Chicago and pretty easy to get to.
Yeah. Now, I'm really looking forward to it, just to see something different,
Yeah. Well, I think, like I've told people, I think the single platform shows are, they're fun, right? Because it's definitely a close-knit group of people, but the multi-platform shows can also be very interesting because you can go around and see what the other kind of communities are working on, and whether that makes sense for your community, and maybe you haven't thought about that in your community, so you can take a look at what other people are doing. And so, like things this year, they're probably, I'm sure somebody will bring one of the I think they're called the Ultimate 64. So it's an FPGA re-implementation of the Commodore 64 that just went on sale, I think, earlier this year.
Okay.
And there's nothing. I mean, it's all laid out. The board's laid out so that it fits into a Commodore case, and that's fine. But I think the thing that the CoCo folks would be interested in is there's been a lot of talk over the years about having an FPGA implementation of a color computer, and the design should give people a lot of good ideas about, is this something that, the group may want to pursue, putting a CoCo 3 FPGA implementation on a board that will fit in an original CoCo case, and you plug an original CoCo keyboard onto it and whatnot.
Yeah.
That's what you'll probably see at the show. So you kind of take a look at it and say, either A, hey, this sounds really cool, we'd like to do something like this, or two, you go, I don't really think see anything value in this, as opposed to a CoCo RetroPie or a CoCo 3 FPGA on a DE Nano or DE10 or whatever it is, right?
Right.
So there's just some things to look at. It's always neat to look at the mini computers when they bring them, because, man, they're just huge. Even like last year, I think Peter Satinsky was there, and he had a model, or no, I think Peter might have been there, but there was somebody else that was there. I can't think of his name. He has CoCos. He goes by the handle of Grumpy Axe, I think is his handle. But anyway, he brought a Model 6000, a TRS-80 Model 6000 HD, which is, it's a huge Radio Shack machine.
Wow.
And 8-inch floppy drives and so forth. It's a beast to look at. So there's always a lot of interesting things at the show.
And it was a pleasure to work on those things. Just a pure pleasure.
I bet it was not. I've got a couple of them. I've got a couple of Model 12s and Model 16s here, which is basically the same thing. And man, they were all just like kind of, you get to the motherboard, you had to basically disassemble the whole computer.
Oh yeah, and and there was a couple of alignment procedures you had to do on the 12 and the 16Bs. Is you had to take the whole thing apart, and then you had to let it warm up for about 10-15 minutes. Then you can adjust it.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know. One of these years I was wanting to bring in, so I got a Model 16 and I wanted to put it together so that I'd have it, and I bought a whole bunch of serial boards for it. So I have got 9 serial ports for this Model 16. And the 16 will run with the 68,000 card will run Xenix, and so it'll be a multi-user system. So I wanted to bring it in and run Xenix, and then have like a CoCo and a Counter 64 and an Atari and a TI and an Apple II or whatnot, all be terminals hooked up to the Model 16. I thought that was a cool display. The only problem with the Midwest Vintage Computer Festival Midwest show is that they have a significantly larger venue than CoCoFest, and they've just about outgrown it. And so they're limiting the amount of space you can have as an exhibitor, because they want to have as many exhibitors as possible, which is great. It's a great problem to have.
Mm-hmm.
But they've almost outgrown their current facility, which is in Elk Grove Village. And I don't know where they move beyond that, but the venue is probably it's probably twice or three times larger than the main room at the Cocoa Fest at Heron Point.
Yeah.
And it's completely full. And I don't know that there's any additional room that they can bring to bear on that. So they may have to move to a larger venue yet, which is a great problem to have. But right now, the issue is that until they move into that bigger venue, it's harder to bring big exhibits like that because they just take up a ton of table space, and you just don't get that much table space when you go to the show.
Yeah, I was lucky. I was able to get a table. I've got one table, and I'm in the Tandy cluster.
Mhm.
So, but there's a bunch of Tandy folks going to be there.
Yep.
So that should be interesting.
I think what else? I mean, as long as you can kind of check your, I don't know if anybody still has this anymore, but as long as people don't come in with this idea that they're going to be going around everywhere and dissing all the consoles or all the home computer systems that are not a color computer or not whatever.
Right. Yeah. So mutual respect, which should be common sense.
Right. So as long as that holds true, then it's nice to go around. The Atari 8-bit contingent usually gets a corner of the place. There's a Commodore group. They're kind of situated in another corner. And then the Coco group typically is they got kind of area in the middle. And then there's the Apple folks and the TI folks. Usually all the home computers are represented. And then they have some of the more esoteric things. They've got somebody that brings in a whole bunch of old calculators and kind of that kind of those kind of systems. And then there's the whatever it is, the CDP 1802 guys, the ones that make the little tin can computer, or the one that fits in the Altoids tins and stuff like that. They have those folks come, and they usually sit there and let you solder one up if you buy the kit from them.
Wow.
So that's kind of cool to do. Definitely a fun time.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. So, just to get some ideas of what other events are like. I've only seen two so far. I've seen a few Cocoa Fest, and I've seen Tandy Assembly. So I've seen a couple of ends of the spectrum. You know, Tandy Assembly is more platform friendly, but still kind of all related to one vendor. So this is now obviously multi-vendor, multi-platform.
Right.
So I don't know if you, I guess it was last weekend, but we had Mark Overholzer and Mikey were at VCF West out in California, and they were walking around showing off some of the stuff. It was kind of neat seeing what was out there.
Yeah, it was. I watched that, and I think that venue was nice and large. So this one's not quite as big. Like I said, the Southeast show, it looks like the West show, and I don't know that I've ever seen the Pacific Northwest show, but definitely those two venues, they have more space than they have. They don't have to crowd the exhibits in because they've got plenty of room.
Okay.
But the Midwest show is a little bit more cozy, and I think it's more cozy because they're trying to keep the cost down, right? So they don't want to rent this big venue that they may not be able to completely fill up.
Yeah.
But yeah, the shows have a little bit different flavor with all the different platforms. You're walking around, one like last year, you go from they have tables, or they have rows, and so on one side you'll have a bunch of color computers, and then right across from you'll have a bunch of Commodores, and then just right next to the Cocos you'll have like last year they were doing, like, there was the Spectrum Next, I think, the new Sinclair Spectrum kind of review. So they had somebody showing that off right there, and then they had right next to that was and you'd know the guy's name. I mean, you'd know him. It was Alan Hightower, who Tandy Assembly last year had all those Tandy 1000 Tandy D-class machines. Anyway, he had I think it was a PC Junior that was sitting there, that it was rendering the output video from, maybe it was Apple. I can't remember. He does both those types of machines. Anyway, he had something that was rendering over USB, and then it was piping it into a regular PC, so you could watch the video on the PC piped in via USB port, not a video capture. It was something, he was sniffing the bus, and he was watching what was going on, and then he was reading all the bits out and sending it to the PC, and the PC was rendering it on a program that he wrote on the PC. So it was kind of interesting to see some of that kind of hacking that people are doing.
Yeah, definitely. Sounds like a neat event. So we did get a question from the live chat. So Jeff Stanton saying, is this old white dude chat?
I guess it is.
Yeah, well, we don't discriminate, so regardless of your color, but as long as you're old.
Right.
Old white dude chat. Sure, why not?
I am surprised, though, that the Midwest show that usually about, I'd say probably late morning, there ends up being a bunch of what I would consider not old white dudes coming into the show. So there's a bunch of in their teens or maybe just a little bit, older. So I don't know what their heritage is, but definitely their age is not old. And
sure.
So that's kind of cool because they're going around and they're not just, they're actually asking good questions or they're interested in the product as opposed to, they walk around and go, oh my gosh, this is like something before PCs or something like that.
Yeah.
But they're actually sitting down there like, oh, I have one of these and I bought this last week and I hooked this up and I've been Telnet BBSing or, whatever it is, whatever their fun thing is.
Yeah.
That's always cool because most of the time when you go to these shows, you definitely can get into the old fart syndrome where everybody in the show's over the age of 50 or whatever.
Sure. Yeah, it kind of, the way you're explaining it, it kind of makes me imagine like an Epcot center. Epcot is a place where you can go and like travel the world in one event. And this is kind of like being able to travel the world of retro, seeing all these different systems all under one roof,
It is, definitely. And see what people are focused on, like the Atari guys and the Commodore folks typically are, all their products are around easier access to games or lots of video graphics or whatnot. Whereas like when the Model 1, 2, and 3, the Model 1, 3, and 4 guys are there, a lot of their stuff is, how to connect the system up to the outside world with whatever it is, the Meese or the mice or whatever that device is that the Tandy one, I can't think of his name, Peter Bartlett,
yeah.
that makes that. And so they're always showing, they have a big setup where they show that. And then the Unix, when some of the folks, like I think last year they had Apollo workstation or some of those in a couple Next workstations, which are cool to look at. But they're all about engineering and Unix. I mean, they don't really, there's graphics and sound, I guess, is something that Next did, but primarily when they're there showing them off, it's all about the engineering capabilities that those units had.
Gotcha.
Do they have any Vectrixes at the VCF?
I don't know that I saw one last year, but I know we've had them there. I have one, and in fact, at one of the VCF shows, and you guys will hate this, but one of the VCF Midwest shows, I'm walking at, it was when VCF Midwest was still in Heron Point. Some guy was there in the middle of the day and he goes, hey, you know anybody that's interested in a Vectrex? And I didn't even know what a Vectrex, I mean, I kind of knew what a Vectrex was, but I didn't really know much about him. And I'm like, I don't know, I might be interested in one. What you do? What's the deal? And he goes, the guy that was going to buy one, he bailed. And so he's not here and I got to leave and I got a Vectrex and I want to get rid of it. And I'm like, okay, well, let me take a look at it. So we walked out to his car, the infamous, like, let me look in the trunk. So he so then he's got these two, I think he had two Vectrexes, and he said, well, this other one, the guy's coming over a few minutes to pick it up, but this one I don't have a buyer for, and I just want to get rid of it and make sure it gets to a good home. I'm thinking, okay, so it's a game machine, it looks like it's a vector-based machine, I get it. And he's like, well, it's got a problem with the controller, it won't go left. And I'm like, it's probably just some simple thing like a wire or whatever. I'm like, okay, well, how much you looking for? Because I'm figuring it's got to be, vintage tech, and this was the beginning of the mode where the older console machines were starting to appreciate in price. He's like, well, I don't know, would you give me $20 for it?
Oh my God!
I couldn't whip that 20 out of my billfold fast.
I know, that's incredible.
Yeah, I think I could probably spare $20 for it. Took it home, stood up fine. Left didn't work. I took the controller apart, fixed the wire, boom, got a Vectrex. So
wow.
So yeah, I mean, if you're interested, I can bring mine. I've got a Vec Multi for it, which is the multi cartridge for the Vectrex.
Huh.
I'll give you 25 for it.
Yeah, how cute. How cute. No. Thank
Inflation.
You. No. I'm trying to think if there was something else that was a little bit more esoteric at the show. I know there was something that had it was like in television, those kind of weird, not in television though, but it was there's some very weird consoles that folks bring, and then sometimes at the Midwest show, depending on who comes, right, different people every year, but sometimes they bring some of the MSX machines that were prevalent in Japan. Those are just, that's just a whole nother world of machines that anything about, but it's cool to see them all. Yeah, they've had I've seen an original. Curtis was asking about an original Odyssey. I've seen an original Odyssey there. It doesn't come every year, but the Odyssey 2 shows up. The Intellivision shows up. ColecoVision, Atom. I've seen an Atom there, that's a piece of crap. But anyway, it's an Atom. So I guess if you love Atom, then you could go there. Yeah, I've never seen a Fairchild Channel F at the VCF Midwest show. I have seen it at the Midwest Gaming Classic in Milwaukee. Somebody brings a Channel F they have a classic gaming expo type thing within the Midwest Gaming Classic, and somebody usually brings a Channel F and shows it off, which is quite Channel F is just, it's just, I'm not even sure it has a CPU in it. I think it's just all TTL or something. So definitely a very rough a video game machine, Channel F.
Wow. Cool stuff. Yeah, it sounds like a cool event. I'm looking forward to checking it out.
Cool.
And then, Lord willing, I'll try to make it to Tandy Assembly a few months later. But if not, at least I'm going to get there. Grant, you with us?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, Grant and I will be roommates.
So do we know? People are starting to get a little bit concerned that is the show all ready to go? Is the like the who's the main speakers and all that kind of stuff? Is that all kind of laid out for the show or what?
At Tandy Assembly?
Correct.
Let me pull up their website, see if they've updated the site. I've heard
I just checked it, and there's nothing new updated on it.
Okay.
So I think, maybe there's a public service announcement to folk that are watching, if any of the folks that are running the show are watching. I don't think it's really a concern yet, because, these things tend to get taken care of at the last minute anyway, but I think folks are kind of like getting a little bit apprehensive about, okay, is the show still kind of a super duper concern, or what, or are people kind of backing off from it because it's a little later in the year this year, and so there's a little bit more lead time. But I think people probably were expecting it to kind of be all fleshed out by this point in the year.
Yeah, so
I would agree.
Yeah, I think it would be nice, especially if they know. Okay, so here Curtis has just pulled up a video on YouTube on that Fairchild system. So let me switch over to that. Yeah, because if they're getting that guy from Computer Chronicles, that's a big draw. That should really be promoted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this does look very VDG-ish, right, from Fairchild?
Yeah, but if I remember correctly, it does not have it's all TTL as far as I know.
This video's, here's hockey.
TTL.
Yeah, right.
Drive wire.
ESP.
So it's basically a bunch of variations of Pong.
Pong, yeah.
But in color. And it looks like it's got earth-shattering. Okay, what is this here? Is this three-dimensional or is this just art?
I think that's what happens when you don't put a game cartridge in.
Shooting gallery.
It says it has a microprocessor in it, so has the Fairchild F CPU. But the thing is they always look. The games all look like that. They're just really very.
Very noisy. Spitfire. It's got the airplanes. This is pre-Atari, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, look at this. What is this? Drag strip. Memory match. Wow, it sounds like it had one form of sound. Holy crap, that's killing me. That sound is killing me. Robot War. Holy
Volume.
Ay.
Ouch.
I'm trying. Okay, here's a spaceship thing here. This reminds me of early Atari games, like Sea Battle and stuff like that. Oh, it even had a poker game.
That's MC10ish.
Yeah. Oh, look at this. You got Tank War.
I think it has 3 different sound effects.
Yeah. Loud, extremely loud, and deafening. Video pinball or something. Interesting. Very interesting. Holy crap, was that loud though, huh? Fairchild F. Paul Fair. F is for
F. What's the F stand for though?
Yeah, it just F'd your ears up. So
F, that's loud.
Wow. Outstanding sound effects, Paul Thayer says. Yeah, right?
In a class of its own.
Yeah, 128 by 64. That's what Curtis is saying. Very MC10-ish. Okay. Like P-Mode 1 graphics. Oh, my goodness.
Okay, I'm going.
All right.
I'm going to go snuggle with my wife on the couch.
All right.
Bye, guys.
It's getting past my
Bye-bye.
bedtime, too. Excellent. Yeah, the old white guys are fading out one at a time here real quickly.
Old white guy talk. Wait a minute. Hey. Well, I'm the least oldest here, I think. So
There you go.
I'll go with that.
You got that going for you. This is the David Ladd fan club. That's what it is.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it's not. It's not. Definitely not.
Is it the David Ladd anti-fan club?
Absolutely. I'm the chapter president.
David Ladd Haters Organization, huh?
That's right. Our motto, just because.
He's only back for one episode. You taking off too, Diego?
Yeah, it's 12:30 here.
Oh, that's right. He's in the future.
Yeah, I'm already on Sunday.
Yeah, he's on that Nova Scotia time.
All right, so maybe we wrap it up then. We just beat this one to death. We're coming up. Yeah, it's 2 hours and 15 minutes. We've spent this much time talking about absolutely nothing. So,
So that's
just like
the normal
CoCoTALK.
show.
Normal show. There you go. All right. Well, we've said it all. We've said nothing and we've said everything. So we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Thank you guys all for being here. Sorry, what's that, Al?
I said we did manage to discuss Uranus.
We did. We discussed Uranus. There we go. We saw pictures of Uranus. So
Maybe yours, but
My
not
cat's
mine.
always trying to show me that.
Hey, Greg, any parting thoughts for you?
No, I'm all ready for VCF, and I'm kind of like Jim Brain and Richard. I'm a little concerned with Tandy Assembly because usually they should have stuff out there by now. There's nothing updated yet.
Hey, Grant, I got something for you.
What?
How you doing?
I'm doing great.
You thought I was going to say screw you or something like that? Yeah. Well,
He's a He's full of surprises. Full of surprises. All right, guys. Well, we're going to wrap it up. Anybody else have any closing, parting thoughts they want to talk about? Anything they want to share? Anything you want to plug?
Is there any good movies coming out?
Christ.
Uranus.
Uranus. In 3D.
The David Ladd story.
The David Ladd story will be out soon. Some of us saw a sneak peek at that. We were on a AfterDARK after show or something, and Brian showed us some of the previews of the David Ladd story. It's coming along pretty nice.
The next Star Trek movie will be Captain Kirk finds Klingons around Uranus.
That be with the fireballs included?
I don't know. All right, we're going to wrap it up. So thanks, guys. Floppy Life, the David Ladd story. Yes. Hey, how about we do this? How about we play a What Did David Ladd Break here real quick, just for craps and giggles.
IP, drive wire, drive wire, drive wire.
And there we have it. What did David break this week? David broke the internet. All right, well, let's put this train wreck to bed. Thank you guys for here. Let's see who's been in the live chat with us, too. There's a lot of people in the live chat this evening. Thank you. Luis Fernandez, Coco Man, Curtis Boyle, Retro Innovations, Tom C., Paul Thayer, Paco Otacte, Rexbeat was here. Stickfire was here. Arena Foot was here. And Ken Make It was here. And Curtis Boyle and Luis and Rob Inman and Rexbeat. And who else? Coco Man, Rob Inman, Retro Innovations. Lots of people in the live chat here. Arena Foot, Rob Inman, Rexbeat, Tom C. Did I mention that? You know who has not been here? Nick Morona has not been here. Kevin Becker has been here. Kevin said, just mute the entire video. Yes, well, we finally got to that, right? So Rob Inman. So yeah, a bunch of people in the live chat. Thank you guys for being here in the live chat. On behalf of those who are still with us on the call, Richard Lorbieski of Boyson Technologies, BOYSON Tech.com, maker of the Boomerang and the Paradigm joystick adapters. We have Grant Leighty. Greg is with us. Thank you for being here. We have Sir David Ladd has been with us. Thank you, David. Al Hartman's been with us of Al's Place on Facebook. Al Hartman's Al's Computer Place. Jim Brain of Retro Innovations. Go, the number 4, retro.com. Diego is here. Go, Diego, go. Jason the Coco Man is here. And how about we do another switcheroo commercial on behalf of that?
You didn't do a boomerang yet.
Oh!
Switcheroo. Use your Coco with a modern display. Go from RGB to composite with just the flip of a switch. CoCo3ScartCable.com.
Ooh, and the switcheroo will return. All right, so how about we do some Boomerang Mania for you, too, created by
Rob Inman.
Rob Inman. So hold on one second here. Some Boomerang Mania for you.
Boom.
Thank you, Rob Inman. And Rob says accelerator not included. That's right. Your mileage may vary. So
Dramatic music not included.
But it has the Guardian Plus technology.
And a blinky light.
And a blinky light.
You gotta love that.
Mhm.
All right. Yeah, Tom C says that's a great job, Rob. Yeah, good one. Very impressive. Yeah. So let me do this. I'm going to pull up the sponsors real quick. We'll make sure everybody can see all of our sponsors, right? So all these people I've been mentioning, right? We've got the Coco VGA project, CocoVGA.com, BoysonTech.com, Go, the number 4, Retro.com. Some of the many people making fine quality products for your color computer. The RGB to SHART cable is available at CoCo3ScartCable.com or CocoMan.biz. Ed Snyder is available at the ZipsterZone.com. So we got all kinds of people making all kinds of stuff for our color computer. Make sure you support the people who are supporting our systems. Without them, our computers would be lonely, right? Ken Reichert, thank you for the plethora of switcheroo commercials and value-added content to the show. Much appreciated. Jason, thanks for having all those glorious video games in the background there, bringing us all kinds of retro warm fuzzies.
You bet.
All right. Well, we're gonna put a fork in this one, and it's done. So I'm gonna play us out with the CoCoTALK After Dark theme song. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for watching. Remember, you may only be young once, but you can be retro forever. Stay retro, people, and we'll see you on the next show. That's right, everybody. This concludes another episode of RetroTALK After Dark. The only show where a bunch of old white dudes get together and talk about a bunch of meaningless crap. RetroTALK After Dark is a production of Old White Guys Incorporated, available on the Old White Guys Network. Brought to you this evening by Uranus.
Maybe yours, but not mine.
Richard, you're the bigger Uranus of us all.
Well, you're the head Uranus.
I am the king of Uranus. All right, put a fork in me. What do you say? What's the phrase you've got there, Jason? Press the button.
Hit the button, Frank.
Hit the button, Frank.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Rob Inman is asking, is Uranus, is that a retro upgrade? Tom C is saying, is this thing still on? Yes, we're still in the air. We are finally ending this, for fuck's sake. All right, so it's CoCoTALK After Dark, and we're getting the F out of here. We'll see you next time. Stay old and